Yeah, let me show you how to work this left shoulder so it gets you the ball, then the divot, and makes you hit the ball flush. The impact is where it's at. You know, I do a drill where and I'm the only one I know that used to practice this, is that I would just practice in front of a mirror and I'd just stop square, or I would just stop a little bit open, or stop a little shut. And that's probably, if I were going to give a drill that was the most important drill, it would be able to totally control the club face exactly where you want it at the bottom. If you can get good at that, it's pretty hard to hit it too bad. That is a drill that's not taught hardly at all in the world of golf, and to me it might be the most important thing that you should work on. He had a move that a lot of great ball strikers have. He did it a little bit differently in that he played a cut, low cut, but what he did that set him apart was when he went through the ball, most players will stay about right here with their head. What Trevino would do is he'd get here and he would chase down the line like this. And so he would go down the line like that, longer than anybody else. And that a lot of the great ball strikers, that's the one characteristic, is instead of just swinging in a circle, when they get in this area here, they go down after it like that. And you can learn a lot from that. I did that in my game probably from watching Trevino. Byron Nelson did that move. A lot of the LPGA players do that move. So what I try to do is get in here. When I go through it, extend that right arm way down the line here, way down the line, like it's coming out of its socket here, instead of just folding up. So Trevino would get in here and he'd hit it like this. He'd go. When he chased down the line, watch the position he gets in. He gets here. You see how the club is leaning this way? See that nice little fade it makes? So if you want to hit that nice controlled fade, chase it down the line and hold the club that way. If you're going to hook it, it's over that way. Just a lot like ping pong. But that's a great move on dogleg rights, back right pins. That's a good one to add to your arsenal if you want to be a complete player. Now it's totally different. The technique is totally different. And here's the difference. Is now instead of the hands being this way on the club, the hands are way over here, so the wrists really line up at a sort of a strange angle. But this is a power grip, and what it does for you, it allows you to pull a lot more with your left tricep and get more arm speed without losing the ball to the right, because it's a hook grip. So you get the guys get the hands this way, and the way they make it work on tour, and I'd say 8 or 9 out of 10 players do this. Watch this right here. They get here, and at the top, they have this angle here, but at the top they go pretty much to flat. And I want you to come and watch where the position they're in now. If I don't change anything, look where the club head is now. This is where they are at the top of their backswing. You see this right here? So to offset that, the guys add shaft angle. So they add shaft angle to square up the face, and then the other part that they do to make this new grip work is when they go through, and again, 8 or 9 out of 10 of the players on tour, when they fall through now, and when they come down, watch the shot, if you'll watch, their palm is pointing exactly at the target. Our old position was here, the new position is here. You might want to try it. You definitely will get rid of your slice as you move your hands this way. You have a tendency to hook the ball more, and that should help a lot of you get more distance with your iron. Well, I think that I got 3 good ideas that might help all of you, or will help all of you for that matter. It's been proven that almost every shot you hit comes up short. It's funny because I was known as the best iron player when I was in my prime, and I always took an extra club and then swung real smoothly and tried to swing with rhythm. And I really highly recommend, if you think it's a 6 iron, hit the 5, okay? You almost never get it to the hole. And that way, if you do flush it, fine, you're 20 feet past the hole, but if you slightly miss-hit it, you'll probably be stiff. So instead of being short of the green, you'll have the ball on the green or to the hole, and maybe even a little past the hole sometimes. That'll really help you, no doubt about it. Second thing is, if there's a tuck pin on the right, don't short-side it on the right, okay? Because you're going over a bunker or you got to flop it over a hill. Favor, especially if you got a lie you don't love or a club you don't love, keep it on the safer side of the green where you have more room for error. Don't miss it on the side the pin's on. You know, even if the pin's on the front,
there's a big bank there, try to hit it past the hole. You know, don't leave it short and have it roll down the bank. So that little tip will definitely help. And then I in my book, Pure Golf, back in the early 70s, I started this green light, yellow light, red light golf. And now it's just a total common term that everybody uses, green light shot. But if every shot you can say, you know, this is an 8-iron, it's exactly 142 yards is what I hit the 8-iron. I love the lie, I love where the flagstick is. You should be saying, it's birdie time, it's a green light, let's go for it. If it's a yardage you don't like and maybe you're into the grain, a side hill lie, a pin you don't love, okay, it's a yellow. Let's put the ball safe on the side that gives me most room for error, okay? And then maybe the hardest one, guys like even Phil Mickelson and Greg Norman never learned. They didn't learn really the yellow lights too well, and they didn't learn the red lights too well. Sometime when you get in trouble, the first thing you should say, when I'm in trouble, let's get out of trouble, which is sort of a red light. Put it back into your favorite yardage where you can hit a nice full 9-iron or wedge. Don't try to go up to the fork of the tree and go, yeah, it'll fit through there, I think it'll fit through. And you make birdie option 10, okay? So you want to mitigate the big numbers, okay?
Growing up as a junior player and college player and then on the tour, on the practice tee, I would hit random, you know, straight balls, my standard shot, and I'd hit an occasional cut or a draw or a couple little punches in case it was into the wind, and maybe hit a high ball just for good luck, so to speak. But about 1971 and 2, I was watching Trevino hit it with his fade, and I was watching Chi-Chi hit his hook, a low hook, and I was thinking, I wonder if I came up with a game that would put a little pressure on myself on the practice tee and brought confidence to the course. I would hit 9 balls and 9 different flights. In other words, I'd hit a series of low straight, low fade, low hook, and then I'd hit a normal height with a 6-iron, it's the best club, by the way, and hit the medium height, standard height, fade, hook, draw, and then a high series of straight hook, draw. And what I found out is at first I could do maybe 6 or 7 out of 9. And as I did it 10, 15 years later, I usually can average about 8, 8.5, and sometimes 9 out of 9. Pretty good rule of thumb is this. If you can do these 9 shots and hit 6 or above, 6, 7, 8, or 9, you can call yourself a PLAYER. And anything under 6, you're still just a golf. And the thing is, if you have these 9 shots grooved, you have more green light shots to all these different wind directions and hole locations. So you can shoot lower shots and you can play with the C word right there. Not choke, but with confidence. You can play these. You might find out that you can hit 3 out of 9, but you can hit the low fade, the straight one pretty good, and maybe a low draw. Whatever it is, you start getting confidence in the shots you can pull off almost every time while you play this, I think, great game. I recommend it highly. Tiger does a similar thing, but not as 9 balls, 9 shots. Same with a lot of the other pros. This is a game that will improve your game for sure and make you be a performer on that one try on the shot you're trying to hit. Call shot golf. Okay, here it is. Pretty much I start normally with a 6-iron, like I said, and I'll just hit a standard little straight, normal height here, just here. Right down the middle, right where you want it. Then I'll hit a normal height fade. You'll notice the fall through difference. Little cut there. Here's a standard height draw. Right here you'll notice the follow position. Nice little draw there. So let's go on the low series. This is under pressure. Trevino told me if you're choking, baby, just hit it low. It doesn't have time to get offline much. So when I'm nervous, or when I won the 94 AT&T as a grandpa, coming in, I hit nothing but these shots right here. And I pretend really I'm sort of Lee Trevino. So here's the low series, back in the stance a little. I'll hit a low straight one. Watch this little stinger, tiger stinger. Right there. And here's a Trevino, little lean in cut. Right there, and then a Chi-Chi draw, real low draw, back in your stance. And if you can see those balls, so far I've hit 6 balls, and I've hit every shot exactly what I called. And the hardest one, I believe, is the high series, because as you're trying to hit it high, you pop your belly out and it can hit behind it a little, so you need a good lie. This would be a high straight ball. Watch how high the follow through is. That's dead straight. And I use this one I call a helicopter finish. It's great for a high fade. And then the hardest shot of all is this one. Back in the stance, high draw, crossover draw. And there's that tough shot, that high draw. And remember, to try those different shots the way I've sort of explained them, I'm telling you, it's a promise. Johnny Miller, 100,000 mile guarantee. If you practice this right here, you will be a better player, maybe a way better player. And that includes the average guy all the way to a Tiger Woods or Rory McIlroy. Do it.
Well, one thing I try to do on my irons that everybody should do is try to make sure that my left shoulder gets back to where it starts, or if anything, a little ahead of where it starts, because that ensures that you eliminate the left side of the golf course, and it ensures that you get the ball first and the divot second. Like when I won my last AT&T, I was on an 18th hole Pebble, and of course all the trouble is left on all 3 shots, and I just made sure when I got over the ball and when I came down, I actually moved into this knife blade, imaginary knife blade, even ahead of where I started, and then hit it, and it eliminates the left side. No way it could go in the ocean. Now, let me show you how to work this left shoulder so it gets you the ball, then the divot, and makes you hit the ball flush and trap it on the face, okay? What I try to do when I'm over the ball is imagine, I try to really think where that shoulder is right there. So once, in my mind, once I turn away from it, I just want to return right back to where I started. If I do that, I'm gonna probably make a pretty good shot. I can't tell you how common of a mistake this move is in the game of golf. The momentum of the backswing pulls you off the ball, which is okay as long as you get back. But what you need to do is now get that left shoulder, which is way behind the ball. If I leave it in this position like this, I'm in big trouble. I got to get that left shoulder back to where I started, and that allows me to get the ball in the divot. So if you leave the shoulder back, sort of sway and stay, I call it, you're in big trouble in golf. It works a little bit with a driver because you want to hit it on the upswing. But for irons, you have got to feel where that shoulder is here, move it back here, and then your first movement down is get it back to on where it started and then hit the ball. If you do that, you get good solid contact and trap the ball right on the face.